Right now on News Channel 8 at 11, airport attack. Sheer terror at the busy Fort Lauderdale airport as gunshots send passengers running for their lives.
Security yelled, "Everybody hit the floor!"
Tonight, new details about the alleged gunman, a former National Guard member said to have serious mental health issues, and how authorities are keeping Tampa Bay safe as one of the most high-profile events in all of sports gets underway. Good evening, I'm Jennifer Lee.
I'm Keith Kate. Thank you for joining us tonight. Airports, they are among the most secure places in the United States for the most part, but that sense of security is now deeply shaken by what happened in Fort Lauderdale today.
The airport is still closed tonight after a man pulled a gun from his checked bag and opened fire in a baggage claim area, killing 5 people. You are looking at live pictures from the airport right now in Fort Lauderdale, where you still see people there. Not a lot of activity, no flights going in or out. We have live team coverage for you of the airport attack and its impact here in Tampa Bay. We begin with our own Jeff Patterson live for us tonight in Fort Lauderdale. Jeff?
Yeah, good evening, Jen. An extremely chaotic scene here at the airport today. Very frightening. We've heard from people who had to literally run for their lives when the shooting started. And the shooting happening just downstairs from where I'm standing right now in the baggage claim area. That area still sealed off tonight by police and crime scene investigators as they're looking at it. But take a look behind me. Hundreds of people stranded at this airport tonight. They've been here for hours. We heard from people who were stuck on airplanes for hours today, all because one man with one gun opened fire. Just before 1 p.m., Esteban Santiago got off a Delta flight from Alaska, retrieved a firearm from his checked luggage, and opened fire near baggage claim of Terminal 2.
It was one real close one next to me, and then it was 4 that I heard bam, 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 bam. It's like boom. We didn't know what it was. Everybody looked. Then there was boom, 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 and then people taking off.
Authorities confirm 5 people were killed at the scene. Witnesses tell us the gunshots came one after another after another.
But there was a pop, 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 and then a herd of people just started running down the way and trampling over people, and security yelled, "Everybody hit the floor!"
People inside the airport dove for cover under benches and chairs. Others started running for their lives.
And I saw this gentleman coming out and was shot on the arm, and it was pissing blood like a faucet.
Police herded hundreds of people onto the airport tarmac and forced others to stand against the wall as they tried to sort out who the shooter was. Some passengers were forced to stay on their airplane on the runway for hours as police secured the airport. Governor Rick Scott condemned the shooting and visited the hospital to speak with victims.
I talked to some patients, and they're in good spirits. They, this is clearly a traumatic experience for them, but they feel blessed that they're at this hospital.
Yeah, I spoke with one man from Bradenton tonight. He had family from Charlotte, North Carolina that flew into this airport. They were stranded on an American Airlines flight for more than 6 hours. They had a 2-year-old with them. You can imagine how difficult that was. Take a look behind me. We've seen dozens of people sleeping on the sidewalk here right now. They're waiting to be bussed out of here. They're stranded right now. Very frustrating, very difficult situation for these people to have to go through, Jen.
Well, Jeff, I'm curious, what are they doing there to try to return things to normal? I mean, it's obviously nothing normal about the situation behind you, but what are they trying to do to get things back on track?
Around 8 p.m., they finally allowed some of the travelers to start to leave the airport. If they had their cars here, they could drive out. But this is a major cruise ship destination. People fly in here from all over the country to get on cruise ships. Many of those folks are stranded behind us right now, and a lot of planes were stranded on the ground around the United States as the FAA barred any flights from coming in here. So this is obviously going to have a ripple effect on a lot of travelers, Jen.
Tens of thousands of people affected. Jeff Patterson live in Fort Lauderdale tonight. Thank you, Jeff.
That 26-year-old accused shooter is now in federal custody, being questioned by police. We have a new picture of him taken by a witness who saw him being arrested. We're also learning more tonight about the man's troubled past. Jen Holloway is joining us from our Tampa News Center now. It sounds more and more like this man was mentally unstable, Jen.
That's for sure, Keith. Officials say Esteban Santiago was undergoing treatment for mental health problems, complaining he was hearing voices. They say a few months ago he walked into the FBI's office in Anchorage, complaining the CIA was forcing him to join ISIS. Immediately, agents inside that Anchorage office helped get Santiago to a mental health facility for treatment. Santiago reportedly went voluntarily. From this Union City, New Jersey neighborhood, his aunt and uncle say they believe he developed problems after an overseas military deployment. Records from the National Guard show he signed up in 2007 while living in Puerto Rico, where his family is from. Santiago served as a combat engineer for 10 months in Iraq. Last August, he was discharged. Family members say that's when he went to Alaska looking for work. Also a place where they say he has a son and where he continued receiving psychological counseling. It's still unclear why he was traveling to Florida. Law enforcement claims Santiago got into an argument with another person on board the plane, and that's what may have sparked all the violence. According to the Broward County Sheriff, they believe that Santiago acted alone. Keith?
And I'm sure they're not only talking to people who knew Santiago, but authorities are also going through his things. What are we learning from social media?
Well, Keith, on Instagram, he posted a cryptic post, if you will, reading, quote, "Here's to finding whether or not your mission on Earth is finished. If you're still alive, it is not."
Jen Holloway, live in our Tampa News Center. Thank you.
The deadly Fort Lauderdale airport shooting has Tampa International ramping up security. TIA is also a stopping point for thousands of air travelers diverted from the chaos in South Florida. Peter Bernard is live from Tampa International for us tonight. Peter, it's been a very frustrating day there for a lot of travelers.
Yes, Jan, and those travelers learned mid-flight what happened in Fort Lauderdale. When they got here, they found canines patrolling and officers rocking around with AR-15s. The question here tonight is, does security need to be ramped up even more? On this big weekend with Tampa expecting thousands for the college football championship, Tampa International beefed up security big time. Canines sniffed trash cans, luggage, and hideaways. Airport police officers roamed the terminal with high-powered rifles.
We are confident that the level of security we have is where it needs to be. And allows us to respond pretty quickly to an incident.
In the hours just after the Fort Lauderdale shooting, 7 planes destined for that airport made unscheduled stops in Tampa, with passengers bused to South Florida. Some decided to make the drive themselves.
We were coming from Houston going to Fort Lauderdale, and in midair they said we're going to Tampa.
Passengers landing at Fort Lauderdale just after the shooting got cryptic information.
The airport is under great security at this time.
Pilots aboard diverted flights gave passengers the bad news.
They diverted us in the air and told us that we're going to stop in Tampa for unknown time and let us know what from there. So we're going to try to get a rental car and drive back to Fort Lauderdale.
Some came to realize had they been on a flight just hours earlier, they could have been in Fort Lauderdale and right in the middle of the flying bullets.
It's really scary, actually. I'm glad to be alive and well. It's a little bit of a pain being in Tampa here, but it's better than being in that incident.
This shooting incident is raising questions about the safety of unsecure areas like this baggage claim you see behind me here. The vice president of operations here at the airport says they may need to review what they need to do as far as security in places like this, because essentially anyone can walk in. Jen?
It's going to be the conversation in the days ahead. Peter Bernard, live at Tampa International Airport. Thank you.
Another security concern officials are taking a closer look at tonight, the process of checking weapons in your luggage. The TSA allows passengers to check unloaded firearms in a locked, hard-sided container. Plenty of hunters, law enforcement, and gun owners check weapons when they fly. The question tonight, though, does a checked firearm add a new security challenge at baggage carousels?
Once the individual gets off the plane and retrieves his baggage, if he intends to use that weapon in an airport environment, then the weapon is immediately available to him or her, as was potentially the case in this incident.
The TSA chief says securing public areas of airports is now a new security priority.
Vice President-elect Mike Pence spoke out about the airport shooting from New York City tonight.
It's a heartbreaking loss of life, and as I said, the hearts of every American are in Fort Lauderdale tonight.
Pence says he's been in contact with Governor Rick Scott as well as the president-elect. Donald Trump tweeted, quote, monitoring the terrible situation in Florida, thoughts and prayers for all, stay safe. There are a number of resources for those impacted by the tragedy. First, the state has set up a family assistance center in Fort Lauderdale for loved ones of the victims. There's also a toll-free number to call for information. That's 866-435-9355. Visit Florida is teaming up with Expedia to find hotel rooms for stranded travelers, and Airbnb is waiving all service fees for those affected by the attack. Be sure to stay with News Channel 8 for continuing coverage of the airport attack in Fort Lauderdale. We'll keep you updated throughout the night and weekend on WFLA.com.
New tonight, a 14-year-old boy in Pasco County is charged with trying to kill a 4-month-old baby. Deputies tell us Andrew McCormick tried to suffocate the victim using a pillow. The parents came home to find the baby face down with a pillow over his head. The 14-year-old is charged with attempted murder. Investigators are not saying if he is related to the victim. Also new tonight, an arrest in a deadly crash along Highway 60. FHP troopers arrested Jonathan Hanza for vehicular homicide and DUI manslaughter. Investigators tell us he ran a red light Wednesday as he crossed Falkenberg Road, and he hit 25-year-old Dante Hill's car, killing him. And a nearly 6,000-foot house up in flames tonight in Sarasota County. You can see how intense this fire is. More than 30 firefighters responded to this 3-alarm fire on Tortoise Way. No fire hydrants were nearby, so they had to set up a water shuttle to battle the flames. Officials tell us no one was inside the home at the time, but apparently a total loss there.
Wow. Still to come, Tampa Bay being watched very closely this weekend as the national championship festivities get underway.
Coming up next, how authorities plan to keep everyone safe, especially in light of what happened in Fort Lauderdale.
Plus, a snowstorm is hitting southern states hard tonight. What it looks like in the areas impacted by this massive system.
It might not have rained much at your house tonight, but other spots north of the bay may have seen 2 inches plus. So the rain's coming down now. Still a possibility of overnight showers, turning colder and windy tomorrow. That's coming up.
The festivities for the College Football National Championship are well underway, and you can hear it outside here. And you could expect to see some increased security at all of the events surrounding the National Championship game, as well as the game itself. But that was always the plan here, not really directly related to what happened in Fort Lauderdale today. Chip Osowski is joining us live from Curtis Hickson Park, where tonight's concert just wrapped up. What a finale. Chip, I mean, we could hear this thing all the way to the television station, fireworks going on forever, and this is just the first of several nights of this.
Yeah, pretty amazing out here tonight, and no issues for Tampa police officers. I did catch up with Tampa Mayor Bob Buckhorn earlier today, and he told me that should there be any issues, should there be any trouble during this event, Tampa police are ready, and they will be out in force. Visibility is just one aspect of the security plan in Tampa. Officers at every street corner surrounding the venues and milling about the crowd. Tampa Mayor Bob Buckhorn believes everyone will have a safe and enjoyable experience.
We've been training for a year for this. We've got a lot of experience based on the Republican National Convention and 4 Super Bowls and the Bollywood Awards. So we know how to do this.
What you don't see is also a part of the plan. Undercover officers are also out in force, and that's not all.
I'm not going to tell you everything we have in place because it's kind of defeating the purpose, but I can tell you where's the safest we're going to be.
The city has also activated the Flash Room, Fire, Life, Safety, and Hazmat, and Tampa's Emergency Operations Center is in full activation.
They're looking at traffic conditions. They're looking at the population that's incoming from the other states, and mostly just keeping an eye on the total event to make sure that everything is going smoothly.
As we are once again in the national spotlight, everyone here wants to make sure everything goes off without a hitch. Fans tell us they don't anticipate any trouble in Tampa.
After seeing the police officers in the helmets and the vests, yes. I wasn't really thinking about it up until now.
Because we have all these policemen out here, I think it'd be rather dumb to try anything.
And the mayor is also asking the public to take an active role in safety, asking citizens and visitors to, if they see anything that doesn't look right or see someone who isn't acting right, to immediately notify the nearest law enforcement officer.
Big police presence and a beautiful venue there tonight with the concerts and a great weekend ahead. Thank you, Chip Osowski, live in Tampa. Also, a reminder for details on this weekend's events and how to navigate all the traffic you're going to see around downtown Tampa. Check out our website, WFLA.com.
Snow and icy roads are causing major problems for travelers in parts of the southeast. Check out what it looks like on Interstate 40 in East Tennessee. The eastbound lanes were shut down today because of a jackknife tractor trailer. And look at that, the traffic backed up for miles. And here's a look tonight at Cobb County, Georgia. You can see plenty of snow on the roads there. There's a state of emergency in Georgia right now because of this snowstorm.
Now, Max Defender 8, the world's most powerful radar, and your Storm Team 8 forecast with Chief Meteorologist Steve Jervey.
And we're on the southern side of that storm system, on the warm side, so we're seeing showers and thunderstorms. You folks north of the bay know you picked up quite a bit of rain this evening, maybe a couple of inches plus in some areas with the showers rolling ashore, and you can see that sweep coming around. The heavier rains kind of drifted off to the east of Citrus, Hernando, Pasco, but very heavy rains have fallen. Still some thunderstorms offshore. As you can see, the lightning strikes here still occurring real time, and they're rolling toward the coast. You can see that movement of the showers and thunderstorms in that northeasterly fashion. A heavy block of rain here has now cleared the area, moving toward the Ocala area, the east coast of Florida. Otherwise, we still see showers and thunderstorms generating back to the west, so you still may see some more rain past midnight into the overnight hours. And then, of course, we have the cold front headed our way sometime tomorrow. Elsewhere, you can see the rest of the Bay Area relatively clear, though a few showers moving into Manatee and Sarasota County coastlines, not in the same kind of quantity. There's the area of low pressure, cold front, and you look at the pink and the blue farther to the north. That is, as Jen was talking about, winter weather for the southeast. Not always a great combination. Still a marginal risk, according to the Storm Prediction Center, for the dark green area here. Slight risk elsewhere. Not a great chance of severe weather, but it's something we'll continue to watch all night long. 60 degrees, that's our kickoff temperature for this big game played on Monday. Really a nice day, upper 60s, start to warm back up after a cooler weekend. The winds will be a little bit less, and it should be very nice football weather. Paul Lamison, nice shot tonight, and of course you did see the clouds with us before the showers did occur in those northern areas. 64 degrees, maybe a few scattered thunderstorms in the early part of the day, generally kind of wrapping up around noon, but we'll leave the slight chance of a remaining shower, potentially inland. But as the day goes along, the changes are really cooler and certainly windier weather. 66 degrees right now, Lakeland, the cool air just to the north of us, 65 Crystal River, not really here yet. The wind speeds, though, increasing as well. You can see throughout the day, once that front passes the area, gusts over 20 miles per hour. Likely that's going to make it feel much cooler because the temperatures are going to be down as well. Those feels-like temperatures, as I mentioned, as we go throughout Saturday, the rest of the day, and eventually into Sunday. You see the stronger winds coming in here from the northwest than north. Feels-like temperatures in the 20s. That's the wind chill that we'll be expecting. As we look at the trend here, dip in the jet stream allows that cool air to spill southward, but watch the timestamp here. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, ridge builds back in, and then the warm temperatures are just right back once again. There's that area of low pressure. All of this snow, look at this. Western parts of North Carolina, up into Virginia, northern parts of Georgia. The snow continues. And as I mentioned locally, estimates from Doppler radar say maybe, and this is a little bit high maybe, but 3-4 inches of rain close to the coastal areas. But you folks know you've seen a lot of rain. Folks always want some rain, but they don't always want 4 inches of rain at one time. And you can see it's all, these are estimated totals, all north of the bay. So tonight, increasing clouds, a few showers going to develop. Here comes the cold front through the area. There's the cold air to the north. As I mentioned, by early afternoon, it all pulls away. Then we open the door to the north, and the cool temperatures start. Saturday, high temp 65, 57 degrees for a high temperature on Sunday. That comes with a breeze. That'll make it feel much cooler. You might want to put a sweater on your cat or dog, just a heads up. The rain chances there. Yeah.
Love the outfits.
They love the outfits. A 60% chance of showers Saturday. Then look how quickly we'll warm back into next week, upper 70s by the end of next week.
Perfect football weather right there, Steve.
Indeed.
Gorgeous. Thank you. Well, coming up next in sports, the college football championship teams have arrived in the Bay Area.
And one of the head coaches shares his thoughts on Monday's big game coming up next.